Hey there boys, today we're going to be talking about a very important topic to me, and that is going to be heavy ammo production, and special too, it kind of works the same way. Heavy ammo production is an interesting topic nowadays because it's very difficult for a person to be self-sufficient in generating their own heavy. There's literally only one method to get guaranteed heavy drops for yourself, and that's using the Heavy Ammo Finder mod on your helmet, which forces you to use a primary and kill ads with it. Which unfortunately, in many cases, is one of the worst ways to handle ads unless you're using an exotic. And I know a lot of the more casual player base disagrees with the sweats who say that legendary primaries aren't effective, but it really just boils down to legendary primaries killing ads significantly slower than either exotic primaries or special weapons. And to add on top of that, there's very few situations in the game overall where you would actually be using your exotic slot on something that isn't a primary and would also need a primary in the first place and couldn't just use double special. While double special isn't producing excessive amounts of heavy ammo anymore like it used to, it's still letting you put on two more powerful weapons than if you were to use a primary, so it's still a very effective thing to be using. Just nowadays it requires a little bit of a brain to maintain the ammo for. So now let's get into some details on how the heavy ammo spawning system works, and then after that we'll go into all the different measures you can take to spawn loads of heavy ammo. Starting things off, we need to separate heavy ammo into two different types of bricks. Also bear in mind that all of this is also present for special bricks, however they basically just work at the same time and separately, using special instead of heavy obviously. But obviously special ammo isn't much of a concern for the most part, so you can take everything I say about heavy to also apply to special, and I will specify if there's any differences between heavy and special. First things first, let's differentiate the two types of ammo drops. There are going to be what we're going to call lucky drops and guaranteed drops. You can recognize a guaranteed drop because it will be shiny and it will have a sort of a aura around it, and it will typically drop less ammo than a regular heavy ammo brick. There's some interesting nuance. In a lot of cases, these bricks are spawned by ammo finder mods on the helmet, which means that if the person is also using an ammo scout on their helmet, it will appear for all of your teammates in a set location, and you can actually share that location with your teammates. However, if they're not using a scout mod, then it will only appear for the player that spawned it. However, it is pretty much the opposite when it comes to lucky bricks, in that they only spawn for the player that it was instanced to, so the player who essentially spawns it only spawns it for themselves. These bricks are also typically bigger, basically just containing more ammo than guaranteed bricks for the most part. It's also worth noting that there are different types of guaranteed bricks, but essentially any type of brick that isn't spawned using the luck system for ammo is going to have the shiny aura and be considered a guaranteed drop. First of all, because it's always active, we're going to talk about the lucky drop system, and I do want to give a quick shout out to the guy who pretty much provided the community with all of the information on this. His name is Prelapse, and he explained it very well, so if you do want to see my source on the information I'm about to provide, I will leave a link to his video in the description. I highly recommend you check him out. At the time of making this, it looks like he hasn't put out a video in quite a while, but obviously he still deserves the credit for the video that he did make covering it. Anyway, getting into how these lucky bricks actually spawn, there's going to be two main ways that they spawn, and that's using either the timed brick system or the ammo phase system. You can think of the timed brick system as a bad luck protection for when you don't get ammo for a long time. That's why whenever you're in an encounter where you're not killing anything, like a jumping puzzle, typically the first few enemies you kill in the next encounter will often drop you a lucky brick. Basically, there's constantly a timer ticking down, and the longer that you go without having any lucky ammo drop, it increases the odds that the next enemy you kill will give you a lucky drop. I'm personally not certain if that chance ever gets to 100, however I have pretty much always had it happen that if I wait like 5 to 10 minutes and then kill a group of like 2 to 3 enemies, I pretty much always get a heavy ammo brick. So you can definitely test that for yourself if you want to. However, basically heavy ammo drops are not going to be an exact science in any regard, and they pretty much all have some sort of level of randomness to them, so regardless, I think that that is a good enough level to understand how the bricks drop. After that, we have a more complicated system. This is in the form of ammo phases. To put it simply, these are like sprees you go on where you get lots of a specific ammo type. You can go on either a special or a heavy ammo phase, however you cannot go on both at the same time. This is a completely invisible system, so the only way you'll be able to know that you're on it is if you're getting a lot of drops back to back of a specific ammo type. It's important to take advantage of these ammo phases once you recognize that you're in one, because they're a great way to get a ton of ammo very quickly. To take advantage of an ammo phase, you need to make sure that you're not holding the weapon type of the ammo that you're dropping. So if you're on a special ammo phase, you want to make sure that you don't have a special weapon in your hands, otherwise the kills that you're getting will not drop special ammo from the ammo phase. There's a system that's always active in the game that essentially makes it so that these ammo phase bricks don't drop whenever you are holding a weapon of the same ammo type. I guess it's some kind of system that thinks like, well, if you have a weapon out, you probably don't need the ammo for it or something like that. Anyways, what this means is that if you can recognize that you are on an ammo phase, basically you're getting a bunch of ammo back to back of a specific kind, either special or heavy, you should definitely make sure you're not holding the weapon of that ammo type to make the best use of it. You should also be killing lots of enemies during this time if possible, because they are very likely to be dropping the heavy bricks. Now that we sort of understand how lucky bricks work, it's important to know that they typically aren't adequate for maintaining your heavy ammo in most situations. Fortunately, to combat this, we have ways of producing guaranteed ammo. First and foremost, we have the helmet mods for our helmets. I highly recommend everybody who's using a primary weapon in pretty much any activity be using a ammo finder and an ammo scout. Basically, this will make it so that every 15 or so enemies that you kill using an exotic primary will drop a guaranteed heavy brick for both you and all of your teammates. Or if you're using a legendary primary, it's more like 20 with an additional like up to 5 for both, but it's around that range of like 15 to 20. This is a very passive and simple way that literally anybody can do to increase the amount of ammo going to them and their team. However, to take it a step farther, we also have exotics. First one is going to be the Aeon exotics, available on all 3 classes. Anybody can use them obviously because they are available on any class. There is a sect for the Aeon exotics which allow you to produce heavy ammo by finishing mini-bosses or champions. Or there is the much more effective Warlock exclusive version in the form of the Cenotaph helmet. Cenotaph is a newer exotic that dropped I believe last season, and it is absolutely insane. This helmet has so much going for it. Not only is it just free reloads for trace rifles, which are already a very strong weapon type in the game, it's also making trace rifles mark enemies, which then make them drop ammo if your teammates kill the targets. However, there's more to it, because multiple people can mark the same target with the trace rifle, and it will drop a brick for each person that marked it. That means if a fire team of 6 people have 5 people mark a target and then a 6th person kill it, every single person on that team is going to get 4 bricks, and the person that killed it is going to get 5 bricks. This is enough ammo to completely fill up a 3x reserve mods rocket using a scavenger mod. So this is an absolutely insane amount of ammo for simply killing 1 yellow bar if a full fire team marks them. However, even at a smaller scale, with only 1 person, or even 2 people especially, marking a target, you're going to be getting a ton of ammo out of killing these bosses using this method. While the meta in the more casual oriented and like LFG groups for GMs has been using like Polaris Lance and other scout rifles to basically just plink away at targets from very far away, that's much slower than using Ceno and just spamming infinite rockets. In a GM setting, using 3 Warlocks with Ceno, assuming all 3 Warlocks mark the target, all of the people are going to be getting 2 bricks back from that because there will be 2 people that aren't themselves marking the target before it dies. Let's not also forget that the person who marked the target gets special ammo back when it's killed. If you'd like to see more details on setting up a Cenotaph build for GMs, I highly recommend you check out the video made by Llama D2. He's a great guy. I was actually in some of the footage for his video when he made that, so I highly recommend it. Anyways, that's going to do it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you did make it to the end, make sure to leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff, share it with your friends, whatever. As a smaller creator, every individual doing that definitely makes a big difference, and it is much appreciated. Anyway, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.